Okay, I'll call this meeting of the Urbana City Council to order. Would the clerk call the roll, and then we'll do Pledge of Allegiance. It is on. Oh. Well, we can start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Just do that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Thank you, and I'll keep my mouth close to the microphone here. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Ammons, Mr. Brown,
Here.
Mr. Jacobson,
Here.
Mr. Madigan, Ms. Marlin,
Here.
Mr. Roberts,
Here.
Mr. Smythe,
Here.
Mayor Pressing.
Okay. Minutes of the December 19th meeting. Is there a motion?
I move to approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any corrections? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are approved. Additions to the agenda? None that I know of. But do we have any? Nope. Petitions and communications. We have one card from Bishop King James and Reverend Dr. Evelyn Underwood, who don't wish to speak, but do want to be on record that they're continuing to be concerned about the Dr. Ellis subdivision sewer problems. We have a presentation from CU Folk and Roots. It's a presentation, not a discussion.
Hello, everyone. Happy New Year to those of you I haven't seen. Charlie has let me know that there's blood in the water for a quick meeting here tonight, so I'm going to try to speed this. Never have I been met before with quite the get us out of here as quick as you can sort of thing. But we owe you, and we thank you. So that's why I'm here tonight. We pulled one off again, the 3rd and 4th and 5th of 2016 in November. We had the 8th annual CU Folk and Roots Festival in downtown Urbana. Well, that's great. Why am I here? Well, it's because you gave us money. A $5,000 matching grant administered between us and Brandon Boys in Community Development. Thank you so much, Brandon, to facilitate doing what we do. And I've just got a little PowerPoint to run through here. I do want to make special note of a longtime City Council friend of the Folk and Roots Festival, Dennis Roberts. That's in fact his artwork on what I've got grown to call the base dog, D-A-W-G. Dog. Says DR right down there by the heel. Thank you, Dennis. So I'm trying to advance by paging down. Maybe I'll try arrow. Okay, so where were we? We were in downtown Urbana and the Crown Center for Performing Arts. You can see the yellow dot there that's kind of in the southwest. All along up and down Main Street. A little bit of input from a council member vis-a-vis using the Armory up north of University Avenue as a venue because of our loss of the hotel, which was a big deal for us, and I may talk about that a little later. This was a down year for us. But we really want to stay in the core. We really want to be right downtown, and we don't want to break our groups up. As hard as it makes to then count attendance as these people kind of mill around all these venues, we're really about being in downtown Urbana, right in the core of the city. A little bit about the festival this year. This is outside at the beautiful little parklet there by the Iron Post. Note the lack of hats. It was a wonderful, wonderful weekend for the festival this year for a change. And the first thing I want to do is to thank our venues, because without the people who open up their facilities, some of whom pay us and very few who require payment, we could not pull this little shtick off here. Just to let you know a little bit about what goes into a venue, this is one sound map for one band in one venue. We had 82 performances spread out through 5 or 6 venues. And so our sound manager, Rob Crum, just gave me one of his, kind of not a technical drawing, but you can see that every band has a count, how many mics, how many inputs, who's going to run the sound. You'll note that when I go through expenditures, the chunk that we spend on sound is, is one of our larger expenditures. Thanks to venues, the Urbana Free Library, wonderful Native American event, storytelling and song. The Independent Media Center came back into our list of venues because of the loss of the hotel. The Iron Post, as usual, Paul Worth, a stalwart in what we do. Pizza M has become a really nice place for us to be. These are a few of the Picking Illini, a college group that we co-op. And C4A came through as a really, really nice venue right there on the corner, right downtown, really visible. Really enjoyed using their facilities. And, of course, the Rose Bowl Tavern, where you've probably all been a time or two. Down to business. Of course, for us, that's dancing. But for you, you might want to know what we spent. Apologies for the font size here. I just dropped this out of an Excel file. But I'll just kind of note at the top, 51% of what we spent, a little over $19,000, went right back to performers. The total there is just a little bit under $38,000. And you can see, we spent $95 on fundraising. Admin support was less than $1,800. So we turn everything that we get into product. A little slice from that Excel file that shows local performers in the kind of darker blue and kind of 0 to maybe 50 degrees. Other performers, just to accent that we want to get local people involved in the performance of music at the festival. And there's a chunk, the purple chunk there is the sound support that I mentioned before. And then the green pie wedge went to local businesses for things like advertising and other kind of support, not sound support, other than sound, I guess I'd say. So what we took in, bottom line, $36,000. You'll note the donations at the top. That includes your $5,000. So depending upon how you look at our revenue, the $5,000 matching grant is, from 12 to 15%. If my math is close to right. Individual donors are the big blue dark slice. Corporate donors, which includes your contribution as the City of Urbana, and then sales revenue. We sell T-shirts, we sell tickets, wristbands to the event. That's how we fund ourselves. So in summary, we lost about $2,000 this year. And over the course of 8 years, we have banked enough of a reserve to be able to weather that loss, but that can't hold for long. Who we saw, attendance counts are almost impossible to make. We do estimates, we sell wristbands, we keep numbers. About 1,100 people at paid events through the Friday and Saturday evenings, essentially, at the venues, and a solid 850 that I could count at free events on Saturday, and that's excluding about the 400 that we put into Cranert for our opening night on Thursday night. So those are the kind of numbers that we're seeing in and around downtown. Attendance down about 10% from last year. We doubled up with U of I Dad's Day. And that was a mistake. It was certainly a mistake when it came to us having to provide some hotels for our performers. We bought maybe 15 nights, that's a guess, and those got to be real expensive and hard to find. So I'm just going to flip through here a couple of pictures in case you guys didn't go to the festival, so that you can sort of see what kind of thing that we enjoy providing to people. This is a nice shot from the Iron Post. Beautiful guitar. Cinto Lindo, a family band from Chicago. The 4-year-olds were doing solos. An interior shot from the Iron Post. And another shot of some Americana players. Dancers at the Rose Bowl. And I just wish to give my sincere thanks to Mayor Pressing and you, the City Council, community development staff. Again, Brandon is just really wonderful to work with. Natalie always, gets us banners quickly, and of course the citizens of the City of Urbana who help us do this whole thing. So I'll pause quickly for questions if anybody has
Questions
or comments.
Nobody? Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
Oh.
you. Just thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, reports of standing committees. Oh, go ahead.
Charlie, I just want to interject one thing. I've sent around this afternoon, not much time, possible resolution on mental health provision, and I guess I just want to get some support for putting that on the agenda for next week. Does that meet with approval?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd say I'd help with
it's-
that.
okay.
I see
Conversation.
it, so did you send a copy to the clerk?
And I did send a copy to the
Okay.
clerk. Okay.
So
Okay,
she's got it?
thank you very
Okay,
much.
all
Okay,
set.
great.
Anybody else? You want to take the report for me, please, since I'm the chair? Here.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just read it from here.
Okay, now, reports of standing committees from Mr. Smythe, who was chair of the Committee of the Whole. And,
Yeah, item number 1. Yeah, go ahead.
oh,
Yeah, you.
No,
okay, you, okay, got it.
I have,
okay.
I have the chair, you're
I
presenting,
got
you're
it,
presenting
yes.
the
And,
the resolution.
okay, item number 1 is an ordinance 2017-1001, an ordinance revising the annual budget ordinance for fiscal year 2016-17 miscellaneous items. For the committee, I so move.
I'll second.
In favor, discussion? In favor, please signify by saying aye.
We actually need a roll call.
Yeah.
Oh, do we need a roll? Oh, budget amendment. Okay, we need a roll call. Madam Clerk, please, the last time I'll be able to say that, please call the roll.
Mr. Ammons?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Jacobson?
Yes.
Ms. Marlin?
Yes.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Mr. Smythe?
Yes.
Okay, and next up.
Well, given that that motion passed, next item is
Where's this
resolution
one?
number
Yeah.
2017-1, resolution in favor of sustainable funding for the 9/11 system. For the committee, I so move.
I'll second.
Discussion? Yes, Ms. Merlin.
I still continue to believe that, out of respect for our funding partners on the MedCAD Policy Board, before we pass this resolution out of council, that we send it back to the Policy Board so at least they can see what's in this resolution. It's proposing a significant increase in fees for cell phones and landlines and VoIP lines, and it affects more than just our constituencies in the city of Urbana, and in fact it's all over Champaign County. So we are a member of this board. We participate in funding MedCAD with them, and I just think if the shoe were on the other foot and some other partner were proposing a fee increase, I would at least want to see a copy of the resolution before it passed. So I would offer a friendly amendment to send this to Director Caldwell at the MedCAD Policy Board, ask him to share it with his members for possible comment, and if they don't have any comments, that's fine, but at least we will have given them the opportunity to see the resolution before we vote on it.
I was just wondering if you had any particular concerns about the resolution.
Other than the no. This is basically for me, it's a policy, procedural, and a courtesy, because we are members of this board. We participate in the board, and this resolution is proposing a significant fee increase that will affect people all over Champaign County.
But you don't have a problem with the content?
No, I mean, we don't have any, we didn't get any information as far as the numbers proposed, but this is a resolution, so we can figure that out later. But this is basically just procedurally. I think it's a good idea to share this with our partners on the board. It's a big fee increase, so we can discuss that later, I suppose.
Charlie.
Well, we got a memo from the mayor this week, and I'm going to try to represent her views, which also represent my own. The policy board for MedCAD is appointed by the member agencies. Those are there aren't really elected officials on that board. This was discussed at the board by Mayor Pressing. She presented the general idea to them, and it's really a resolution that's going to the state, and she wants to circulate it among the other boards and commissions in the county. So it seems appropriate. This is a resolution really going to the state. It's not one that we've ever sent to we've never done it and sent it back to a board or commission for comment or something like that. So this is simply a request that the state legislature do something. The amount is open. They're currently doing 87 cents. You know, we hope that they will at least continue the 87 cents, though that is probably inadequate to fund the MedCat needs. The real issue here is that we need to get the attention of our state legislators to do something for MedCat and for the MedCats around the state that don't have the funds to do the modern electronic response that people want. So we're just wasting our time and other people's time. We should just get this off our desk and get it done.
Yes, Bill.
Yeah, I have concerns with the content of the resolution. I'm not convinced that it's been drafted by people who are expert in the subject of taxation and MetCAD and 9/11 funding. Basically it's proposing a shift in the whole idea of charging a flat rate across the state, except for Chicago, and allowing each dispatching agency to charge their own rate. For Champaign County, it might work okay because our dispatcher happens to just cover Champaign County. For other dispatching agencies, there's probably differences where it goes outside the counties or you know, there's just other differences. So what works for us might not work for everybody. So I'd like to see something that would be more assured that it would work for more agencies so that it would have a better chance of passing at the state level. Otherwise, we're just proposing what would work for Urbana. I don't like the details of it. I'm not sure about the 1% thing. That seems kind of arbitrary when you start charging a percentage versus a flat rate. It says a flat rate up to $2.50. So who decides? I guess the dispatching board, an unelected board. So that's another problem, I think. So those are my main concerns. So I'm not ready to support this as it is.
Dennis?
Well, as I remember, the mayor presented this proposal at the Illinois Municipal League. She had a workshop on it. I don't think it's a surprise to anybody, and I think she's talked to the board members themselves, and I think she's also outreached to other mayors in the state and gotten a lot of positive feedback from it. So I'm not ready to stumble all over myself, you know, wondering whether like some one detail is going to be, you know, the best for, you know, Pekin, Illinois. I think that it's pretty bold and far-seeing that the mayor would be the lead agency to try to make a significant policy change in the state, which not only would benefit the city of Urbana, but also the voters of Champaign County, who in 1998 already had proposed a higher fee for landline use anyways. So I'm going to support it, and I would suggest that we just be a little bit more brave and put some energy into correcting an ill that exists in what is really an unfair a fee system that favors Chicago but totally ignores the needs of the downstate people who have a lot less money to deal with the MetCAD situation.
Okay. Yes, Charlie.
Well, Bill, you did a really nice job of adding to the PTI resolution. I would support sending this back to committee then to get some additional language in there that you could support and Eric could support, and if that's what it takes, if you think it needs to be fine-tuned to get it forward, then I'd move to send it back to committee.
Is there a second?
Yeah, second.
Is there discussion on the motion to send back? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay.
Just go ahead.
Okay. Okay, let the record show the vote is not unanimous.
Okay, next item is resolution number 2017-12R, a resolution for keeping the Police Training Institute at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, and this is the version that Bill Brown tweaked for the committee. I so move.
Aaron? Oh, Bill.
I just summarize that. Basically, all I did was add to the third and fourth whereases to basically include more of what our discussion included last week and what this public input was, sort of emphasizing some of the strengths of the local PTI and why we think it's important to keep that training resource, as well as support the PTI or the additional training facility indicator, which wasn't in there before. So I did add, which we appreciate and support, just to make it clear that we aren't opposing that. And I think most of us probably saw the Department of Justice report that came out Friday, I think, on the Quan McDonald shooting, and how important the training was, or in the report, how important they thought it was that Chicago police had deficient training and needed to improve their training. They actually, from what I understand, have much longer training than we do downstate. They don't train at PTI here, but they have in Chicago more time requirements, but apparently not the same things to study and focus on. So, and with Chicago's announced increase of their police department by 1,000 officers over the next 2 years, seems like it will also increase the need for additional training resources, even if it's not downstate. Whatever they use up there, they may be hiring police officers from downstate. So it does seem like there will be plenty of need for training continuing.
Okay, any further discussion? Diane?
I support this resolution. I appreciate the addition that Bill added, recognizing the contribution that the new facility indicator could make. And I still remain concerned about the physical facilities right here on campus. I understand that the training is moved from the 4th Street location out to the Quonset Huts at Willard Airport. And having taught in the classroom for 15 years and been on a facilities planning committee and helped plan on education and research building on campus, I believe having state-of-the-art modern facilities designed for the purpose that they're going to be used is critically important for training. And so in an ideal world, it would be nice to have people going through PTI here on campus to be also able to experience some of the new state-of-the-art facilities in Decatur. And it'd be nice if there were some sort of cooperative effort for trainees to be in both places and let U of I do what it does best, which is the research and some of the cultural competence and the social aspects of policing done here, and then utilizing those brand new facilities with scenario-based training and mock courtrooms and whatever else they're building on that campus in Decatur. I'm not sure if that'll ever is a possibility, but that would be the best of both worlds.
Further discussion, Aaron?
Yeah, I didn't understand then and don't understand now. If we're doing a resolution to support keeping PTI here, why would we say we support them moving into Decatur or building one in Decatur? I'm unclear on that.
I can try to answer it. I mean, from what I understood, PTI is the training institute. It would just be another training facility in Decatur. If they want PTI to move, and I wasn't real clear whether that was part of the request, then I suppose the people and the programs would move, but PTI itself is, it's the name for the one here from what I understand. Maybe somebody could correct me if they know better.
Okay. So, yeah, Dennis.
Well, we know that about, what was it, 3 or 4 years ago, they tried to totally shut down PTI here and move it. Well, they just didn't want to shut it down. And yeah, move it to Decatur. Why? Because they wanted to have the facility, you know, in Decatur for, I guess, political reasons. Anyway, the mayor did make a case to maintain it and keep it here, and she was the only person who actually began that conversation, but ultimately enough the board members and the university itself helped to maintain the facility here. So, yeah, it is kind of like, I guess I don't understand myself. I have to be in agreement with you that if we want the PTI to remain here, we should support the University of Illinois location for the Training Institute. And yeah, I mean, it's not clear to me what kind of facility they're trying to build in Decatur, whether it's going to be feature specific facilities that are not available here, or just better facilities in general, or what. But, so I would like to have some clarity on that.
Yeah, Aaron.
Even then, it would make sense to me if we were advocating for a state-of-the-art facility to be built here. But you're not going to build for however many millions Buffett, whoever is paying for this, is going to spend on it. We're going to take all the state-of-the-art equipment and facility and everything to Decatur, but somehow the programs and the people are going to stay here? I mean, come on, what, come on now. Okay, so to put in our resolution that we wanted to stay here, but we wanted to go to Decatur is just double talk. And it doesn't make sense to me. So if that's what we're saying, then I'm not supporting it.
Yeah. Yes, let's see, I think Diane and then Bill.
That's not what the resolution says. It recognizes the presence of this new facility in Decatur, and
We support it, is what it says.
we support state-of-the-art training for police
It
officers.
says we support that facility. Don't play semantics with me. You know that's what it says, and that's what
We
they're
support
talking
that
about.
facility with its state-of-the-art training.
Okay, Diane.
Okay, Bill.
I think it's just a matter of reality. It's under construction. Mr. Buffett gave the money under condition it would be built there. It's obviously there's going to be a police training institute built there. It's not going to be the police training institute. It's going to be one of others. There are other police training institutes. Maybe they aren't PTI, but they're police training facilities in the state. Besides the one in Chicago, there's one in southwestern Illinois, I think, somewhere down there. So it would be an additional training facility, is my understanding. The only question is whether PTI will close, and that's what we're trying to oppose. But I don't see how you can say that supporting a facility that's going to be built in Decatur, no matter what, is somehow not supporting keeping PTI open.
So, Aaron, could you take the chair for a moment so that I could comment?
Sure.
Thank you.
We'll pass it on down the line.
Yeah.
So I recognized you, Eric.
So thank you. So I'd like to suggest a slight wording tweak again, which is I suggest instead of referring to the thing in Decatur, the entity in Decatur, as a police training academy, I suggest replacing the word academy with facility. And I further suggest deleting the two words in the next line, and support. So now it would say, is working with a generous donor to build a police training facility in Decatur, which we appreciate, but is considering closing PTI. Is that in the spirit? No, Bill is shaking his head.
I would second that if that's a motion.
Yeah,
So it's
it's a
been
motion,
motioned
yeah.
and second for a friendly amendment to this resolution. And so to the person who worked on it, Bill, are you accepting that as a friendly amendment?
I didn't make the motion.
Okay. Who made the motion? Charlie?
Eric did.
Well, I made the motion to amend.
Right.
I guess
And Dennis seconded it. So
You suggested the
there'd be
wording
a
and
vote
I
on the
seconded it.
amendment.
But it was moved from committee to whole, and that's the main motion. And who seconded that?
Eric is seconding it.
Okay.
is moving an amendment. Yeah.
So you vote on the amendment. It's either voted up or down.
All right, so those in favor of the amendment, please signify. Well, we need to do a roll call on that?
I don't
No.
think so. No.
Please, those in favor of the amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
Ayes have it.
Okay.
So the motion on the floor now is to remove the words "and support" and to change the word "training" academy to facility,
Yes,
and that is now what we would be voting on. Right?
right.
Okay.
I guess I can take the chair back now.
You can have it.
Thank you. So those in favor of the main motion, oh, sorry, did we have another? Oh, any further discussion? Yes. No. Okay. Yes, Bill.
I guess I'll vote yes, but I do support the facility in Decatur.
I do too.
That's
Okay.
pretty obvious.
Yes, Dennis.
Yeah, well, I still think that we shouldn't even talk about the Decatur facility. Why are you going to bring it up? We want the PTI here. I would just take that whole paragraph out, and I'll make a motion that we do. Is anybody ready to drop the whereas that mentions Decatur?
I would second that, Dennis.
All right, all right, so let's have a discussion about that. That's a
Okay,
friendly-
let's discuss
I guess
that.
it's a,
There goes your quick meeting, Charlie. Yes, Bill.
That was in the original motion. It was in there, that was in the original resolution written by the mayor, and that was in there in order to provide context for why they want to close the PTI. If you don't have that, there's no context.
Exactly.
perhaps, except,
Okay. Dennis.
well, I suppose so, except for I think it's probably general knowledge in the state. And I don't really see the point of assisting. I don't know why, I don't see the point of talking about the generous support of somebody else who's doing something that was actually going to undermine the PTI in Urbana.
Yes, Diane. I'm not laughing at you, Diane. I'm just.
I'm
it's
searching
interesting.
for
This is-
words. This is a $15 million campus. It's a brand new facility. It can train police recruits. It's also available for advanced training. They have residential facilities there. They have a 2-story classroom building. It will have the latest in the equipment needed to do scenario-based training, for example. Again, with a mock courtroom, a mock jail room, and all the facilities that we frankly don't have here. We have a high-quality training program here, but the university does not have the money to invest in those kinds of facilities, which is why I would love for us to be able to utilize them for some of the training and take advantage of what the U of I offers here and does best. But I'm not the one in charge of this. I just think it's for us to downplay the significance of having this facility available for other officers in the state, maybe not the ones who come through Urbana, but at least it's available for training police officers in general. I'm happy to see it there, and the fact that it's being built.
Aaron.
So, I don't think anyone's naive about $15 million being spent on a state-of-the-art facility, that it's going to go up and that's going to get used. But this body is deliberating over whether or not something that is in our jurisdiction or something that we use for our constituents, particularly and directly. And it just doesn't make sense to me for us to mention something that's being built in Decatur. I don't know what our resolution has to do with that. And I think it's politics 101 that this is just as we say in a different world, this is the underlay for the overplay. This is going to move the entire PTI out of here in a few years. It doesn't take a lot to figure that out. So, it is what it is, but, I'd like to move on. So, what is the motion?
So the motion is an amendment which would strike the entire paragraph mentioning Decatur. So it strike the entire whereas. Am I
Yes.
saying that correctly?
That's what I'm hoping.
And so that's the motion that's on the floor. Is there further discussion on that motion? Okay, I guess I'll call for a vote. In favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
No. Okay, so now we're back to the more slightly, the motion failed. So now we're back to the only slightly modified resolution. And is there any further discussion on that? If not, would those in favor of that please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, and that passes. And is that the...
And I'll take the
and
chair.
that, and now it's time for Charlie to take the chair back.
Okay, next up is reports of special committees. Do we have anything? Reports of officers? Nothing from behind. Mike, did you have something? Yeah.
Just real brief, getting back on the 911 thing. Ralph Caldwell serves on the 911 Advisory Board, and I guess the report is due to the state, to the General Assembly on March 1st, so there is a time element going on here.
Okay. Well, we should be able to get it done fairly timely. Bill?
Yeah, I just suggest if it's timely, anyone from the MetCat board could offer input to us, and anyone that the mayor's talked to, the other mayors that she's talked to around the state, if we had anything from them, it would help us make our decision, I think.
Eric?
Yeah, the other time frame that we should consider, I think, is what is the legislative calendar for actually asking somebody to draft legislation on our behalf for this spring term. So I would urge some contact be made with Senator Bennett and Representative Ammons about that.
I see Mike nodding his head, so. Yeah, well, I assume that we send it to committee. It'll be in committee next week, so we'll see it there. Okay, new business. We have some mayoral staff appointments. Human Resources Manager, H. Alex Batista. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Alex is approved. Public Facilities Manager, Vince Gustafson, who's, did I pronounce the right first name correctly? Gustafson, sorry. Did you want to say something, Bill? Yeah. Go ahead.
Thank you. Yes, Vince is, as the memo said, has been with the city for over 12 years, and in the position of supervisor for 4.5 years. He's done a great job as supervisor for public facilities, and now it's time to make a promotion up to division head. You may recall several years ago, Pat Paletti was in that position until he retired, and Vince has been groomed for the position, doing real well as a supervisor, and now want to make him officially in charge of the division of public facilities.
Is there a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion that we appoint Vince Gustafson as a public facilities manager.
Gustafson.
Yeah,
I
I tried
I-
to say that, but it didn't come out right.
I second the appointment of Mr. Gustafson.
Moved by Dennis, seconded by Eric. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's all yours. Congratulations, Vince. Okay, page 2.
I can do that.
Mayoral appointments to the Community Development Commission, Abdul Hakim Salam, term to expire June 30th, 2017, and Karen Hodgin Jones, term to expire June 30th, 2019. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Moved by Dennis, seconded by Aaron. Discussion. Dennis.
I worked with Abdul Hakim Salam at the Learman Neighborhood Community Garden for several years. He's a great guy. He just got recently elected to the Learman Neighborhood Action Committee Board. It's great to see him engaged in the community. I support his nomination.
Aaron.
There's a correction that should be made on the spelling,
Oh,
just for the record of that. The Abdul Hakim, there should be a space between
That's
Abdul.
right. Those are two words.
And it's Hakim, capital H, and it's Hakim, not
Okay.
replace the N with an M.
gotcha. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I didn't write this. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, the MOR Development Review Board, Adam Rush, term to expire June 30th, 2019. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Diane, seconded by Dennis. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And for the Plan Commission, Jane Billman, term to expire June 30th, 2019. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Moved by Dennis, seconded by Diane. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Aaron?
For next week's agenda, I did want to also, I don't know if, I was going to contact the mayor before she's out of town to get something on the agenda for next week.
Okay. Might as well just mention what it is now.
So
and
I
get
would
a
like
second.
for Dr. Rebecca Ginsburg to come and present on some of the information and her findings around mass incarceration. And I think it's timely for some of the conversations that we're having here.
So you ask her in for a presentation then?
Yes.
Okay. Is there support?
Yeah, I support it.
Okay. Then the clerk has that. Okay.
During those presentations, what is it, 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
Roughly
something like
10
that?
minutes, yeah. We had a good example today. And if she, if it really gets, we're probably going to have questions, so, yeah. Seeing no further business, this meeting's adjourned.